You are listening to a Reverie original podcast. Please download the Reverie app to get the best in queer film, TV series, music, and podcasts. Stream out loud.
Hello.
We keep forgetting to talk about who should intro the show.
Oh, it's okay.
I did last week,
it.
so one of y'all can do it.
I just did. Hello, everybody.
Okay.
Welcome to Podcast of Color, where 4 trash bags of color come together to make sense of the world. We are going to have 4 trash bags today. One is just going to join us a little bit later. And in the intros, we can guess who that is. So I'm Rakeem, and I'm obviously here.
I'm John, and I am the gay marriage between Bert and Ernie.
Okay, wait. Before the last trash bag goes, I'm going to give the audience... fuck, damn it. Oh, wait.
I already spoke, sis. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, wait, you already spoke. I forgot. I was going to be like, now the audience can take a poll. Do you think Baze is missing, or do you think Renee is missing? And then I realized that you spoke already.
So I am Baze, and I am also present at present.
Well, my presence is a present, so...
Well, you can kiss my ass, so...
I'd rather not.
That's okay, there are plenty who will.
I'm sure there are plenty who have, so...
are we slut-shaming?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that
First
at all.
Armand Rizzo, now me. Is no bottom safe?
It's no bottom safe. First of all,
no bottoms
did
left
a stellar
behind.
Job in The Shape of Water.
Can we not make fun of him anymore, please?
I didn't.
Fun of him.
Rakeem has been all over Twitter making fun of him, but I actually feel like a little less bad about it because he did something that was kind of... He did a video that was kind of...
What did he do? What is the tea? What did he do?
I don't know where this video came from.
The girls are fighting.
The girls are fighting.
The girls are fighting.
Wait, that's for Minutes of Color. We could talk about it in Minutes of Color. We just have to remember.
Okay.
We always forget.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's going to be the first subject.
So
as soon as we jump on Minutes of Color,
okay.
I'm like, what did Armin Rizzo do?
What did Armin Rizzo do? Okay,
Who
so
didn't?
the question.
That's actually the question of color. What did Armin Rizzo do? Can we? Let's all guess it. I'm kidding. Space knows.
The question of color is: if you had to change your name, what would your new name be, and why would you choose that name?
John, would you like to go first?
No, I'll go last.
Oh, Baze, would you like to go first?
I mean, I guess I can say that I already did. Baze is not my real name, so this is the name I came up with.
Boo!
No, you have to pick a different name.
Okay, fine. Okay, well then let me go. Okay, that was my answer, so I'll let Rakeem go first.
Wow, how you gonna propose the question and then?
Because I got it from this list, girl. I wasn't thinking about this.
Well, I have been waiting to be asked this question since it was on America's Next Top Model, and it was a challenge. And I remember that I think her name was JL was like,
"Oh,
I'm not going to change my name because my name is mine and I like it." And so I'd keep it JL. And Tyra was like, "Yes, bitch, that's exactly what the fuck I wanted you to do." So I remember that anytime someone has ever been, well, I have never been asked that question, but I've been, I have waited to have been asked that question. And now that it's popped up, I would like to say that I would keep my name the same because it's unique and I like it. And Tyra Banks would be proud.
Okay, so I think I've thought about it. I think I would change my last name to my dad's name. Because, it's funny that growing up, I kind of took pride in the fact that, like, yes, my first name is Nigerian, but, like, at least my last name is, like, this normal American name. And so I was like, oh, thank God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, thank God my mom didn't do the whole thing. But I now, like, definitely feel like, like, this Caucasian-ass name, I want something, like, I really want to go back to, like, my dad's name. I want to go to my dad's name. So I kind of want to change my name to his last name, which I don't really want to share right now. But I will say that I kind of want to change my first name to Brooklyn. And not because of New York. Like, I've always just kind of liked that name. But when I was, like, thinking of names that I wanted to go by, my family was, like, very, like, anti-Brooklyn. Because they're like, oh, it sounds like a girl's name. And I'm
so you're
like,
being petty.
Partially, yes. But petty with a purpose.
Petty with a purpose.
Exactly.
And what's the purpose?
And the purpose is my own hopes, wishes, and dreams that I had that were stumped out by my family.
Oh.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's a deep cut.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
no, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, you know, it's fine.
Be good. BEYGOOD.
Be good.
John.
Bomb. It was a bomb noise.
I don't get it.
Because
To
you're
freedom.
yeah.
Oh.
That's a queen.
Be freedom.
Be freedom. Be good.
Be freedom. Oh wait, B has a song called Freedom. Is that where Nicki is that where it came from? Was Nicki
Don't
really
get the bars
standing for
upset,
Beyonce?
girl. Don't get the
Was
bars
Nicki-
riled up.
Wait, when Nicki was saying to freedom, was she really actually standing for Beyonce? And she was saying like play freedom?
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like to the DJ like to freedom, like the next track.
And he just
Right.
misunderstood her.
And he just
thought she was
misunderstood
doing
her.
Crazy stuff.
And she was like, you know what? We'll roll with it. That's exactly. She was actually standing Beyonce is what was happening.
Wow.
She was watching.
Come on, decryption.
She was watching Coachella, and I believe Crazy in Love was right before Freedom. So she was probably like right when Crazy in Love ended. She was like to freedom, and then it started, and then she
was like, "That's the wrong track." And
that's
then you just
really
played
what
the
it is.
sound effect.
Yeah, and then Chun-Li started. So that's actually what mystery solved.
Okay, so John, what is your first?
I know, right? I would pick I like gender neutral names.
Same.
And I was thinking I like Alexis.
Ooh.
Not a Mercedes. No, but I'm just kidding. But I just think it's nice for, someone who's gender neutral or decides to, I don't know, whatever gender. I feel like Alexis is a good one. It's weird because one of my best friends' name is Alexis, but I think it's pretty either way. I like guys and girls and whoever named Alexis. It just flows.
I don't know why, but Alexis reminds me of like someone with like. Well, I do know why I'm thinking this weed, but I think that Alexis reminds me of someone with like curly hair that has a gap tooth that like works at a gallery that sucks dick in the bathroom.
Oh my god, that's so specific.
That's very specific.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but that's what the Lord put into my head, so I had to speak.
When I hear Alexis, I think of my cousin. So,
oh, well, see, that's your ministry, and so I'm talking about me.
I was just okay. And did I say it was your ministry, sis? I was speaking my piece about my experiences.
But Jesus. I don't like.
Well, nobody talking about you, but everything got to be about you, though. So it's okay.
No, but what I don't like is the tone that you're taking.
The tone? Me, so do you not? Okay, well, sis, guess what? I'm planning on being out there soon, so you can address that with me in person, face to face.
Well, do you
by
guys?
Here, do you mean Miami?
So, what do you guys think Renee looks like?
Renata.
What would Renee's name be other than Renee?
Mm-hmm.
Renata Gutierrez.
I feel like Gutierrez. I feel like it would be. What was like
Comrade?
Comrade
with a K.
Comradito.
Comrade Kardashian.
It's Comrade with a K.
Comrade Kardashian. No, I think that's gonna be Courtney's next child's name. Renee.
Comrade.
I feel like Renee would take Azalea right now. Do you not feel? I feel like that would be. I feel like that would be pretty.
What if his first name was Banks
or Elon?
Oh wait, you know what? Banks would work because he's a fan of both Azalea Banks and Banks, the singer.
Oh, Banks.
Yeah,
Banks.
And
get over here.
Like,
he would just be like Celine. No, well, Celine Dion. Never mind. It would be like Beyonce. It would just be like his one name. Cher.
I do like the names that are like. This is gonna sound really white, but I do like the names that are objects. Like
microphone,
like River,
what?
Or not. I mean, Apple in this example, but I'm not gonna say Apple. Or like. Blue. Like, those are gender neutral names.
Blue is an item?
No, I mean, it's a color. It's not. I'm just saying, they're unconventional names. Thank you.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm asking is what items are cute to name your child after?
I don't know. That's what I'm just saying. It'd be cute if his name was Banks, because then it's not like.
That would
Can
be
I ask
cute.
an
Comrade
can I ask an
Banks.
Can I ask an additional question really
Yes.
quick? If we what would you name if you had kids? What would you name them? Did we do that already?
Yeah, we did.
But it was like a long time ago.
I don't remember.
Do you remember now? Okay, well, never mind. Mine would be Jackson and Teddy
Teddy.
and Brock.
Of course.
It's a Pokemon gym?
Jackson because I think it sounds presidential. Teddy because why not? And
Brock, like the Pokemon trainer?
and Brock from the kid from Breaking Bad. But yes,
Oh.
Wow, and this is with your white husband named Jason with a C.
excuse me.
Connor.
Jacen.
Yeah, because you at home with your big ass black nigga too.
Okay. And
Oh my god.
And what about it? If you're gonna throw bricks at Stonewall, bitch, you're gonna throw them from glass.
I
house.
said-
Stonewall.
that is a long way away from of color. So
Base threw the first brick at Stonewall.
First of all, I don't have a
This
man.
is true. And why is nobody talking about that? Where's my GoFundMe?
Alright, let's not.
Yeah. How about that, Baze?
Oh, is that too far?
No, I'm
No,
kidding.
I don't know what I'm talking. Take.
All right,
I'm just like, take
let's
that,
move on
bitch.
to Men's of Color.
All right.
Alright.
Hello, and welcome back to the child. Wow. Okay.
Minutes
welcome
of
back
color.
to Minutes of Color.
The
There we
ghetto.
I mean, I just had y'all rolling on the floor because we were talking about the most births. We were on. I fell down a Wikipedia hole on like the most births to one mother, and the most is like 69, but it happened in the 1700s, so like it's hard to verify. But definitely in the 30s. Women have had children into the 30s, so I'm just a little shook by that.
You know, for some
Wait.
reason, I feel like that pisses Nicki Minaj off that it's not her. I don't know why, but I feel like
What?
But I feel like Nicki.
You think she wants credit for that?
I don't know.
You think Nicki
I feel
Minaj
like-
wants to have 30
Wait.
children?
So, I have a question. Speaking
Yes.
of holes, what did Armand
No.
Rizzo do?
Oh,
What did Armand Rizzo do?
What did Armand Rizzo do? No. What did he do?
What would he do? We know that.
Well, yes. He's done it. No.
Stop it. Look,
I don't feel bad about it anymore. I mean, I guess technically, like, no, I don't feel like thinking about it too deeply. I don't feel bad about it anymore. Because I was on the Twitter, and somebody had posted like a thing about like how
It
they
was
had
me.
tweeted that they rejected a white guy, and and the white guy said, "That's why y'all out here getting shot."
Wait, what?
wait, what?
Wait.
This
Wait.
guy tweeted, he was like, "I just rejected this white guy." He said, "That's why y'all out here getting shot."
What?
Wait, I don't get why you guys are laughing.
Because we're black and we can.
Because they're terrible. Like
It's terrible, but it's funny. I don't like. It's one of those things that's not good, obviously, but like,
Wait,
sometimes
Armin
shit is
Rizzo
just
said
funny.
that?
Huh?
Wait, no,
The white guy said that to the black guy.
no. John thought you would.
Oh.
John thought.
I thought we were still talking about Armin Rizzo. I'm so
No,
confused.
I'm getting around to that.
Wait, what?
I'm getting around to it.
Okay, please. I'm sorry.
So
Oh, I'm
that
dead.
happened. This guy tweeted that. I go through the comments and there's this video, and it's like somebody posted this video clip of Armand Rizzo. He's like, "You just want that big black dick. That's why you're mad." No, wait. Let me find it. Let me actually like find
It
it.
says you know you want it, and you're just mad because you can't have it. It's like
No.
it's literally like, haha, I have an like it's like I have big black dick and you don't, and it's like, girl, what?
Okay, so here we about to play it. Oh wait.
You know you want that big black dick up your ass. You know you do. You know you do, and that's why you talking shit.
That's why you talking.
Hmm.
You know you want that big black.
Oh, yeah.
You know you want that big black
That
dick
big
up your
black.
ass. You know.
Um.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, this is a fake. This was like
No, it's not. It's real.
No, this is a video of him saying that.
I saw it too.
Oh,
His
it's not.
whole
It's
voice,
not
his
part of
whole
a
chest.
movie. It's
No,
actually him
it's
just
him
saying.
No,
recording
this
it
is-
himself.
I wouldn't have posted
Oh,
a video, a movie clip.
I thought that was like a skit in the movie.
Yeah, so now I don't
No.
feel bad saying that he reached into his ass and pulled his phone out of his purse that is his asshole and recorded that video that's full of shit.
Okay, just as long as we're not bottom shaming.
I'm not. No, I'm Armin Rizzo shaming.
Okay, a whole new genre. Okay,
Truly.
Yes. So anyway, he did that, and so now I was like, oh, I don't feel bad anymore. But anyway, Rakeem made a post making fun of Armand Rizzo before he saw this video.
That's what.
And he said it was a video of like a sea slug, and it's like this big hole in his mouth. I think it's his mouth opens up, and he was like, "Wow, I love Armand Rizzo in The Shape of Water."
I can't.
That's what he said before he even saw the video. So I responded with that video, and I was like, you want that big black dick. That's why you talking shit.
Just in case we have any listeners just jumping on and don't know the podcast history of who this person is, Armin Rizzo is the bottoming champion.
He's like the Viola Davis of bottoming.
Stop! Don't
call him that. He doesn't
Viola
deserve
Davis.
He does not deserve that. Do not give him those kudos
Viola Davis.
or accolades.
Okay, well, who's better at it than who bottoms better than Armin Rizzo? Bottom Armin.
That just because he bottoms, just because he takes dicks, doesn't mean he's an excellent bottom.
Woo!
Wow.
Wow. Uh-oh. Was this the discourse?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but honestly, that doesn't mean like he's like, I wouldn't give him all of that. I mean, he can definitely take dicks, but like, if you put a lot of these girls that are in these fisting videos in the same videos, they would show out. So I don't really think that's. I don't want to give him all of that. I wouldn't call him the Viola Davis.
They said show out.
They said Armin Rizzo was nothing special to the fisting community.
Exactly.
They said,
Exactly.
over there you may be the queen, but over here, bitch,
You're just mediocre over here.
you're just a
bitch.
mediocre white bitch.
Let that nigga go to San
God.
Francisco. Let him go to Folsom Fair. Okay?
Oh, God.
Oh, speaking of, wasn't that it was just this past weekend, right? Folsom?
I don't know.
It was Leather Pride in San Francisco. There was marches and...
Sure.
I'm telling you
I
it
don't know. I
was.
don't live
Gay
there.
power.
But anyway, I wouldn't give him Viola Davis. There's some people I would give Viola Davis. Like, what's that nigga's name that was in that video with Austin Wilde? The iconic scene that was just talking about
Dominic something.
Dominic Santos and Austin Wilde. Now that
Applause, applause, applause.
You have to explain to the audience.
That is akin. You know what? That is akin to the scene in How to Get Away with Murder where she takes her wig off and wipes off her makeup.
Babe, you have to explain to people what's happening in the scene. Only we know.
I don't think a lot of people watch.
I think
as
that
much
you have
porn
to
as we
experience
do.
it for yourself. But I mean, I guess I could tell you, but it won't be the same. They're just, the chemistry is off the hook. Not Armand Rizzo, Lord Jesus. Dominic Santos is the bottom. Austin Wilde is the top. At one point, Dominic Santos is doing the splits while sucking his dick and getting fucked at the same time. Let's see Armand Rizzo do that. Let's see it.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah, honestly, let's see it. I just saw some other guy.
Podcast of Color is going to host the first annual Bottom Off.
No.
Hosted by John Kagendahan.
Actually,
And it will be at the Forum.
Also, I want to shout
Tickets
out.
will be on sale.
I also want to shout out Simon Santana on Twitter. His video has like popped up on my timeline like multiple times of him like pulling his leg up into a split and taking some dick in the doorway. I was like, okay, bitch. Wow. Wow, talent. Range.
America's got
a
what?
hole with range.
John, we really have to do this.
I'm actually
Wait.
Googling this
I can
person.
picture it. America's Next Top Bottom. And John, you can be the Tyra
Oh my
Banks of the
God.
show. Wait, okay, and then every week there's like a weekly like fleet check-in, right?
Oh,
And then
wow.
like there's like a photograph that's taken of all the waters, so you can see like the progress each week, and you can kind of see who's like the top bitch.
Rakeem likes to take it there.
Listen,
Don't he? You should be the writer, girl. Honestly and truly, you the one with you got all these scripts
listen,
in your mind.
I've dated and fucked so many gay writers in LA, I might as well be one.
Oh.
So it's
Ooh.
just
Wow, putting
Is
her
that how
auntie
that
out
work?
there.
well, I mean, nepotism.
Oh, I thought you meant like you just there's a transfer of talent. Because I was like, that clearly didn't work out for Jay-Z.
Oh, yikes.
Through osmosis?
Wait a minute. Jay-Z did a great job.
No, he did do a great job, but the talent was not transferred, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not on par.
So, what's on the docket, Base?
What is on the docket? What do we
Armand
have
Rizzo.
on the docket? Oh, I'm on Rizzo. So it appears that Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child is going to be doing a reality show with her boo, her fiance, Chad Johnson.
Good for her.
With OWN, Oprah's channel. So,
She got Oprah money now.
you know, so
So
I mean,
that
I'm just
hashtag
wondering,
poor
do you guys
Michelle.
think that Beyonce will be making an appearance?
Absolutely the fuck not. You know damn well.
You know what would crack me up? Because there was like so much like talk about the fact that Beyonce didn't show up to Kanye and Kim's wedding, partially because of the cameras and all that. I think it would be funny if she actually did show up on Michelle's show, but I don't.
You know damn well she was. You know
I know.
Beyonce called her and she was like, "Girl, I don't trust you with them damn bangs, and you don't let me down. So I'm gonna tell you, don't think about it."
Wait, did she really cut her bangs?
Oh no, I was just making a joke.
Oh.
You mean?
I thought, I was like, oh wow, is that real?
No.
Oh god, I'm so stupid. Okay.
No. It's fine. I'm sure a lot of people think that too. But you know, she was like, "That's not gonna happen. Don't think about it." And also, I can't tell. Is Michelle's husband black or is he? What is he?
I can't tell if he's light skinned, super like one of those super light skins.
He's
or
like-
if
Is
he
he light
is-
skinned?
What is that guy's name? The one on Twitter that everyone drags because he's not like it's not like Sean.
Oh,
Kingston.
Sean King.
Oh, not Kingston. Fuck.
Nah, Sean Kingston.
What
You know what? He has a song with Nicki Minaj that I
Suicidal.
listen to it forever, and it goes off. It slaps. I need to hear it again. I don't
That's
know.
the guy who made that song Suicidal, right?
Isn't
Yeah.
it called Beautiful Girl?
Oh,
Yeah,
the,
it's called Suicidal too.
When you're depressed and queer.
I was like, it sounds like the title is Suicidal, but
Oh man, yikes! That's dark humor.
it is. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
No, it's okay because we were all there at one point and when that song came
Oh
out.
no.
Ooh, hello,
What's
darkness, my
suicidal?
friend.
But anyway, I'm happy
Um,
for her. So people can stop saying poor Michelle because she got Oprah money now.
Yeah, it's definitely called Beautiful Girls. Anywho, a former drummer of Beyonce's is trying to get a restraining order against her because she's been practicing voodoo. And committing acts of, yeah, she's accused her of killing her cat.
She's
committing
accusing
acts of
Beyonce?
sexual molestation via witchcraft.
Beyonce.
This bitch is
Yeah.
Melisandre from Game of Thrones.
she said that she's been holding her back from holding her down. I don't know if that means like her career, or what. But yeah, so that's fascinating stuff. I mean, we know Beyonce's up all about that Oshun and I feel like she's a bruja.
The
Yeah,
thing is,
you
I
know-
feel like Beyonce did it.
I don't
Stop.
think she molested nobody.
I believe it.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
I don't.
I know I don't either.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was a witch, but I don't think she would do like. Well, I
I
hope
don't think she would
wouldn't
care
do
about some
anything
random
mean.
drummer.
The funniest response to this to me was on Twitter when someone retweeted and they were like, "This bitch think a restraining order is gonna protect her from Creole voodoo."
I mean,
Like
that's
that
true.
was that took me out.
Oh god, I feel like
you.
I can see that. I feel like Beyonce has voodoo dolls of like the ghosts of her enemies past. Like there's a Carrie Hilson voodoo doll somewhere in the vault. There's like a Amory back there somewhere.
Oh no, Amory too.
I think Sierra's
Why
is
Marie?
like because Amory is now making YouTube videos and that aren't cracking $10,000. I mean 10,000 views.
No, really?
Yeah.
Is she really?
And it's sad.
One thing.
That Touch was an amazing album, and that's where she is. And I feel
But what
like
did she do against Beyonce? Why do you think Beyonce?
exist, unfortunately, at the same time, and none of those girls made it out alive.
Speaking of Beyonce,
Beyonce.
I mean, this is actually working because, like, I mean, there's like 3 consecutive stories that all have to do in some way with Beyonce. Kanye West posted. I guess he went on her website, like the rest of us, and found a picture of her and Jay-Z in a car, and she's wearing what appears to be Yeezys from the latest season, I guess. He posted the picture on his Instagram and titled it "Family," with like 4 E's. And it was quickly pointed out that she wasn't actually wearing Yeezys. She was actually wearing Payless shoes.
Yeah.
So that looked pretty similar to the Yeezys. It's like a clear heel. I don't know. Look it up. People's talking about it. People.com, I mean, not people.
Who is wearing them?
Beyonce.
Oh.
So
you mean who?
Well, no, because he said I just don't imagine her wearing Payless shoes.
Oh, I'm sure she was like, Blue, girl, get my shoes. It's hot.
I had to think about that again, too. I was like, wait a minute. Beyonce had Payless? But, I mean, and I was like, isn't Payless closed? Like, is Payless still around?
It sure is open. I go there.
That's where I buy my heels sometimes.
Yep, that's where I buy my shoes, too.
I don't know why I thought Payless was, like, closed down.
If you're looking for a
they
cheap,
don't have
sensible
Payless in
heel.
these, so you wouldn't know.
Oh, you're right. But you know what? If it's good enough for Beyonce, I might just have to have it imported.
Damn.
From the slums of America. From the slums of Silmar.
Everyone's shopping at Payless these days.
From the ghettos of Pacoima.
Maybe it was like a BOGO situation.
I went to the ghetto.
This is real, authentic hood wrap pleather. Look, if you rub it, it's hot. This is the good shit. Beyonce was definitely wearing this cheap shit. Look, you can still see the glue mark from the Elmer's Fudd. Glue.
Payless isn't that bad.
Rakeem, I'm really sick and tired of you. So the question is, a lot of people are asking, is he calling her family because of the shoes, or is he just calling her family? But it is a little bit of a coincidence that he had to like go onto her website, because this wasn't a picture that she posted on Instagram or anything, and found this particular picture. So it kind of seems like maybe he did think that they were his shoes. He also went on a little Insta rant about about Drake. Because I guess Kim's nickname is Kiki, and he felt a way about Drake doing that, the Kiki.
No.
Yeah. And I was just like, who? I mean, I guess in those circles, everyone would know that she goes by Kiki, but y'all know Kim Kardashian can't be the only woman in the world who goes by Kiki.
The fact that she goes by Kiki bothers me, because,
Well, apparently it's like an old thing. Like, I don't think it's like a new since she found black people thing. Like, apparently she's always gone by Kiki.
But we don't know when she found black people, though.
That is true. I mean, she found black people pretty early.
Kim Kardashian found black people way before we knew about her, so I wonder how long that's been going on. Anyway.
Also, Kanye's moving to Chicago, and Kim is not moving with him. So, what y'all think about that?
Melania's impact.
How
what?
So?
Yeah, I was like,
they don't live together. Doesn't she not stay in the?
Yeah, she lives in the White House. She just waited
a
while because her excuse was that she was waiting for the son to like finish the school year or something.
Oh, well, never mind. Well, whatever.
I mean,
but apparently they've done according to the source, they've done long distance before, and it's all good. And she's just going to be going back and forth between Chicago and LA.
Why is he moving back there? For the foundation or something? I don't
know. Cause he's trying to get black people to like him again. He's been on this whole, like, he's apologized to people, and he's like apologized about, like, he did this whole crying video that I didn't watch, where he like, I think he apologized about the slave comments. But honestly, I'm just done with him. I don't care.
Same.
I hope the Republicans and the Trump supporters and the MAGA people, I hope they support him, and I hope they buy all his Yeezys, all of them.
I was gonna say something shady, but I'm not gonna do that. So
go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
It calls for it.
No, it's not. It's classist. I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He also, I guess, him and Nick Cannon just squashed their beef. He said that Nick Cannon shouldn't have spoken about Kim. Nick Cannon said that he could believe that Drake and her dated. Somebody asked him about it. He was like, I could believe that happened. And Kanye felt the way that he said that he could believe that. And he said that nobody should be speaking on his wife, even if they did used to date her. And I'm just like, sis, like...
That's not even...
Is beef with Nick Cannon really beef?
Well, they squashed it, so I don't know.
Like, I mean, like, I feel more threatened by a Chancey than Nick Cannon, but go off. And like Nurse Joy would do a better job, but whatever.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, there you go.
I thought.
What else do we have here?
Oh,
What?
I
What were you
thought
saying?
I thought you were going to say something about Kim Kardashian saying that Kanye was exhausting. Isn't that?
Oh, that's in the thing, but like, it's a source. I don't know that I really believe that all that is being said. Just that I'm sure that they will be fine. I'm sure.
I mean, it just sounds like a coincidence. Like he's moving, and then this thing that came out saying that he's exhausting makes sense that he's moving.
Yeah, it could make sense that they are on their way out.
That's fine.
Do it.
I personally don't care either way. I used to be invested and be like, no, Kanye, get away.
Actually,
but now I'm just like, I don't care.
Actually, I take that back because they have children together. Not want their family to be split up. So actually stay together, work it out. I take that back for the kids.
Yeah, but
kids.
you can't.
I love
their
their kids are beautiful. Those kids have done nothing wrong. It's just
and there's nobody saying anything wrong about the kids. I'm just saying I personally I'm not invested at all in the continuation or the ending of their relationship.
Yeah. Well, Stormy runs that family now, so that's all that matters.
Mm.
Stormy's there to do what Black China couldn't.
Is she?
I think so. I feel like Black China planted Stormy. Like, I feel like that's all part of her plan. Like, this is like part of the long run. She's gonna like.
Do you think that Black China is that smart?
I think Black China is gonna. Actually, let me not. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I feel like you giving her a lot of credit.
I'm not gonna ruin. You know what? I'm not. I'm not gonna give Angela all that.
Yeah,
Angela.
That's her name. Is Angela.
Angela. Yeah. Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona. I don't know why I did that. Of Arizona.
Arizona.
I don't know. I think like I was going for like Australian, like Arizona.
No.
It sounds like Amy Winehouse.
No, because when they say no, they say now. Oh my god. What?
You about to get dragged by the British listeners?
No, I'm not talking about the British. I'm talking about the Australians, but then the Australian listeners might drag us.
So you get dragged no matter what.
The point of the fact of the matter is, this man got dragged by his siblings in a political campaign ad. Paul Gosar is a Republican, and his siblings said in this video, they said, "It's intervention time. He just doesn't appear to be well. It would be difficult to see my brother as anything but a racist. Where is his integrity? I don't know. I think our brother has traded a lot of the values that we had at our kitchen table." Basically they've just been calling him racist all over and over again in this video. They got 6 of his 9 siblings to appear in this campaign.
I saw it. They were going off. They're just like, first of all, I'm jealous. They're all like next to like this wide ass, beautiful, like Brokeback Mountain-esque, like landscape shit. Just like acres of land. And they're just in there talking all kind of shit about their brother. And they sound like, they legitimately sound like, we tried to keep this nigga from going and running for office, but I guess we gotta do, like, they sound sick of his shit. So, is this white on white crime? Are they gangsters, Bays? Are they thugs?
Crystal called this the white either.
Oh, pretty much.
And it took me out. I was like, somebody put the beat of either on it over it.
Wow. I mean, the videos are what, like 9 minutes long or something? It's long.
There's like 6 people talking.
They're dragging.
Dragging. They're like, this is not what we learned as kids. No thanks. No ma'am. No ma'am.
Well, political videos get real dirty.
But imagine like your sibling going on camera and like
6
HD,
of them.
6 of them. And this, they are taking days to film this and have it edited of talking about how much they hate you.
Not that they hate him. They didn't say all that. They just said that they just called him what he was, a racist.
I mean, yes, but they're also saying that they hate him by calling him a racist.
I hope they got their money.
I think white people are able to separate that a little bit more.
Oh, so you think that like they're like, girl, we told you to not be racist out loud, and they have to, and that's what's happening?
No, not necessarily, but I think that like, I'm sure like they don't hate him. I'm sure that like at some point they could potentially work out whatever is going on in their relationship with him. I just think that like I think that like I don't want to say just white people, but people are able to compartmentalize a lot of things with their families. And I think like especially white people, kind of do shit to their families that like the rest of us might think is like beyond reproach. You know what I mean? Or not beyond reproach, but like might be to a point where like you can't come back from that. And I don't think that they operate in that same mindset. Like I feel like when they, you know what I mean? Like I got you. You know when you talk to your white friends and you like hear about the kind of shit that their family members do to each other, and then it's like all good after,
right?
And yeah, no, so like I don't necessarily think that this is the end and they'll never speak to each other again, or that they hate him. I just think that like they recognize him for what he is, which I wouldn't even ask that they hate him. You know what I mean? Like all of our relationships with our families are complicated. We all have like really fucked up and problematic people in our families. So I think that is just really commendable that they stood up and said something publicly about it, because you know a lot of people can't even say anything to their families at Thanksgiving dinner. So
but I'm just curious to see how they vote, but. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, well, they're clearly not voting for him, so.
Well, right, but I mean, are they going to vote for, like, another bigot who's just less, like...
I mean, I don't think so, because it sounds like they're calling him out for, like, his policies and his beliefs. Like, they're saying he doesn't believe in climate change. They're saying he's racist. They're saying that he's anti-immigration. They're saying that he's, you know, you know, he's, like, against streamers. And, like, they're calling out specific things. So I think that their values are totally different from his, and you know, I definitely don't think that they're going to be voting in line with Republicans.
Sorry, I was just sweeping them in a wide brush the same way they do us. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and sometimes people do. I mean, sometimes people do switch up on you. I mean, a lot of Bernie voters ended up voting for Trump, so you know, you just never know. What's this nigga's name? Jesse Williams, there we go.
Yikes.
Got into some hot water today.
Today,
because he posted a picture of Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till, crying over her son's casket. And he kind of made a meme out of it, like the Nike meme.
No.
Yeah.
What?
He
on his Instagram?
On his Twitter. He posted He posted the picture. She's crying over his casket, and it says, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." I fully believe that he had the best intentions with this, because he's directing a movie about Emmett Till. It's called Till, and it's about Mamie Till like fighting to get her son have her son's killers brought to justice after he was tortured and murdered. So like I fully believe that is like I don't know. I want to believe that he has the best intentions. However, I do think that that's incredibly fucked up, because, well, one, like a sacrifice is something that you make willingly. Yeah. And she had her son taken from her. That wasn't something she gave up willingly. It also just is in poor taste, because I think that it's in line with, a lot of the memes that are based on the Nike working with Colin Kaepernick. And I think that the difference is, though obviously it's all about making money, right? Like a lot of people are like, well, this is a poor taste because it's about, you know, making money and it's promotion for his movie. And in the same vein, you know, Colin Kaepernick and Nike is about like them making money. And on their end, I definitely agree. Like, I definitely think that like Nike doesn't have any moral high ground in this situation, in terms of comparing the two. But Colin Kaepernick is alive and he's an adult, and he entered that deal willingly by choice. And I think that the difference between that and this is that Mamie Till is dead. And so not only that, but you're not like allowing her like, it's not like she has the agency to like come in and be like, I want to be in this ad. Like, she's dead. And also the picture that you chose is of her like losing it over her dead son.
Right.
Body. So I thought it was gross, but I don't know. What did you guys think?
I also just feel like at this, I don't even know why the movie's being made. I don't know. I just wish people would just leave Emmett Till alone. Like, it reminds me of, I know, Baze, that part of what was going on this week is that curator thing. I wasn't like completely sure about that, but it reminded me of like the whole, like, I don't know if people remember this, but in the Whitney Museum a few years ago, there was like a painting by an artist named Dana Schutz, where it was like her, she was a white woman who painted this like picture of Emmett Till, but like the face was like abstracted, and like a lot of people were pissed. And it's like, I don't get why people like, I don't know. I feel like Emmett Till was used as like black torture porn, and it's like, I don't need to like see that, nor do I need to like I don't know. It's just, I don't get why that's like something that's I feel like it's being exploited at this point just for money. And it's like, just let them rest, you know? And so I don't know what the fuck Jesse Williams is thinking. So, I mean,
I don't necessarily have an issue with him doing the movie. Like, I think that we've never really, I don't think there has been a movie about it. And I think that, like, I think it deserves to have, that story deserves to be told, especially Mamie Till's a part in it, because I feel like in a situation where she was just a regular mom who sent her son down to, I don't remember what state that was, but the South, and to be with relatives, and he was supposed to just be down there for a visit, and then he came back in a box, and his body was grotesque looking because he had been tortured and left in water.
Yeah, no,
for a long time, and she turned that, or like, not turned it around, but she was like, no, I want an open casket. I want them to see what they did to him. She like actively pursued the people who did that to him. She participated in documentaries over the years. And so, like, I think that story, because I believe the story is being centered around her, you know, in the aftermath of this tragedy. So I believe that story is worthy of being told. I do agree with the other points, but I do think that the story is worthy of being told.
No, I agree too. It's just, I don't want to see it, because it's just, I personally have just, Emmett Till has just been like for some reason just keeps coming up in like my life personally, and it's just like really triggering and like traumatic for me. So like, I personally don't need to see it, and I don't really like to see, it's like, I'm never going to watch another slave movie again, because like, I just don't need to see that, you know? But that's just where I'm at. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to have her story told, because she absolutely does. But it's like, for me, that stuff is just hard to watch, because it's like, I just feel like so many times, like, it's especially with black women, like, the narrative is like the single mom, and like, you know, that's like mourning her kid. And I understand that this is something that actually happened, but I see it so much that it's just like exhausting for me to see it. But I understand that there are certain people that like do need to see it, and, you know, and should see it. So yeah, it has like a right to exist for sure.
Just don't post a picture like that. It seems tasteless.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just have some sensitivity. I'm not like, oh, throw that nigga away, he's canceled. But I'm just like, like, come on, man, you gotta like think
like, he probably got really emotional and decided to post it. But like, that's what happens. You know, they just think about it before you post something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, you kind of touched on it a little bit, Rakeem. Somebody tweeted, or I'll say their actual name, at DJ Chubb E Swag, posted on Twitter, there's a white woman curating the hip hop part of the NMAAHC Smithsonian who let this shit happen. So, that's the National Museum of African American History and Culture in, DC, which I'm sure many of you have heard of, because it's like about us, and it's supposed to be for us. And I think that a lot of people, were kind of taken aback to find that Timothy Ann Burnside, was a specialist in the curatorial affairs at the at the museum. And she's a white woman, and that like rubbed a lot of people wrong to find that she was curating the hip hop section of the museum. Especially because I think something like 85% of curators in the U.S., museum curators in the U.S. are white people, and it bothered a lot. It didn't sit well with people knowing that there's so few opportunities for black people to be curators in museums, and that this job went to a white woman. Personally, I feel like we don't necessarily need to share everything. And I feel like there was a lot of pushback when, this guy tweeted this. There was a lot of pushback from like a lot of blue check Twitter, a lot of like, really popular black people who speak out against racism and have like started hashtags and campaigns against racism, and they kind of like shut him down and were like, why are you even asking this? Like, how dare you? Who are you to even ask this question? Because a lot of them knew Timothy Ann and were friends with her and worked with her, and from everything that I've heard about her, like, she's like excellent at her craft. Like, she's been working at curating hip hop stuff, I guess, I don't know, since 2006. You know, from everything that I've heard about the Black people that have like worked with her, she's like very much about like stepping back when she needs to, giving Black people a voice, bringing Black people into the room.
Well, apparently not, if she's taking this job over.
Well, yeah, but so it's just, well, I'm not saying that as like an excuse. I'm explaining why people were defending her.
Right. I'm just
so it was hard for a lot of, I guess, them to see people being like, hey, why is this white woman curating the hip hop section of this museum, which is supposed to be, you know, for Black people? And there was a lot of, well, this is backwards thinking. We can't just be segregated. Like, it can't be like only Black people can do this. But then there was a lot of, on the other side, well, why couldn't a Black person have done this? Why is this space? There's so much space and so many opportunities for white people in this field. Why couldn't this one position be filled by a Black person? And it just went back and forth, and it got kind of ugly because there was a lot of like clout, not clout chasing. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, there was a lot of posturing, and there was a lot of using platforms. People had platforms that they built by speaking out against racism and erasure, and white people taking up space in Black spaces. And these same people were speaking out against people who were questioning this woman being in this space. And at the end of the day, like, whatever you feel about like her being in this space, and like personally, I'm still going to go to the museum. I'm still going to go to that section because I've always wanted to go to the museum, and I still do. At the same time, I don't feel like we necessarily need to have white people in everything. And I feel like there's like this push for like Black people to be like, to be inclusive, to sometimes to our detriment. Like, there's like this expectation that like, oh, well, we want white people to be inclusive, so we should be inclusive too. But like, the issue is that our spaces are far more limited than white spaces. So when we bring a white person into our space, that's taking up space that could have been filled by a Black person. And when a white person brings us into their space, they're bringing us into a much larger space that actually nobody's going to suffer from by them bringing us in. You know what I mean? So it's just like those other people just won't get preferential treatment, you know? So that's the difference. And it was also just kind of disappointing because it was like seeing all these people like go to bat for this white woman. And it's like, white women don't need anybody to defend them. Like, they literally don't. Like, any and everyone will go like to bat for white women.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's still going to do it, right?
Yeah, she still has a job. She still will.
She's still going to do it, so... And
her job wasn't threatened. So it was just kind of like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys arguing against people speaking out against it? But anyway, Rakeem, John, what did you all think about that?
Do you want to...
I mean, I mostly agree with Baze. I will say the art world is very interesting, and it's very political. And I'm not saying that I agree with what they're saying. All I'm saying is I can understand why they said what they said, because I understand how the art world is this weird thing, and that like it's the one area where like no one ever talks shit about anyone, like ever. It's just like this thing, like publicly, like because everyone's like scared to be attached to like something, and it's like really weird. Like the culture of it is very, very weird. So I understand why they said that. With that being said, though, I think that that's a discussion that's like that should be had, because it's come up a few different times. You know, when it comes to curating these things, like you can actually have a ton of knowledge and that kind of thing, but does that substitute for real life experience? You know what I mean? Like, but also, you know, that then begs the question, like, well, not really. I was going to say, like, just because you're Black, does that necessarily mean you have, like, this connection to hip-hop? But I guess it does. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what a lot of people were saying was, like, is she... she studied this for years, and she went to school for this, and she's been working, you know, with these pieces and this exhibition for years. And so, like, you know, what more does she need? But there's other people who are like, well, somebody who, like, grew up in the Bronx, where hip-hop was born... you know, is gonna have a different relationship even though they may not have the same resume because they weren't allowed to have the same resume.
Right.
You know what I mean? They weren't given the same opportunities that she was given. But you know what? They still have a lot of knowledge of the culture because they grew up surrounded by it.
I was reading one of the responses that was saying, like, you know, if there was an LGBT exhibition, would an ally, someone who's not LGBT, like, would you guys be okay with this person curating something like that? And I did feel a certain kind of way with that question, because it's like, if you're a true ally, you would sort of step aside and let a queer person get the spot and, like, allow them to curate something about our own history, right?
See, but it's not always that simple, though, and that's the thing. Like, because there's a lot of things that people have seen. Like, I think it's really dangerous to say that. I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I think it's really dangerous to say, though, that, like, only this group of people can curate for that group of people, because I don't think that that's necessarily true. So,
no,
for example,
that's not.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
So, like, when we went to go to the Hammer, right, that was done obviously by, like, a mix of different people, but, like, the main person was a black person, right? And there were pieces from that show that aren't by black people. So,
but the theme was Angelina's, wasn't it?
But that's why I'm saying that it's dangerous to fall into, like, by the logic, but I think that a lot of kind of what we've been saying is just, like, black people need to curate black people stuff, and, like, that's it. You know, and I'm saying that, like, I'm not agreeing with the people. All I'm saying is that it's very complicated and it's different depending on, like, what the thing is. And I think a lot of these have to be, like, on a case by case basis. This particular one, I don't necessarily agree with, but there are a lot of times when there are.
What do you mean that you don't agree with? Like, what do you
like? I don't think that, like, a white person should have been a curator for this particular exhibition, but I think that there are certain cases where there have been things like that have happened where I don't think people get, like, fully what happens behind the scenes, which is why I'm hesitant to just be like have a blanket statement and just be like, everyone that does this is bad and, like, whatever, because this kind of stuff.
Do you feel like any white people should be curating anything in that museum?
I don't know, actually. No. I don't really think so. I think they can be, like, receptionists. I mean, but, like, here's the thing. I don't think that white people should have any kind of institutional stake in a Black History Museum. Absolutely not.
There it is.
Period.
Okay, that's the answer.
But,
period.
But my whole spiel before wasn't about this specifically. It's just about curating in general, because I think it's really dangerous to say that, like, only certain people can do only certain things, because a lot of this stuff is, like, really, like, nuanced and whatever. Because I don't want to say that if I'm going to move forward, I can only work with Black artists. Like, there are a ton of different people I want to work with.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm going to make an exhibition off of, like, the Asian experience, because I'm not Asian, obviously. But I'm saying that, like, Black people can do whatever. And they're just, like, not limited to, like, just things that are Black history, is my point.
Right.
What about you, John? What were your thoughts?
Well, I'm not going to speak on the Black experience, but what I was saying earlier, I would feel weird walking to an exhibition knowing it was curated by someone who's not queer. It's like, here's your history, but here's, like, my version of it, you know, like, through my eyes. And that sounds weird. It just, I don't know, I'd feel pressed about, like, I would still want to go and support the show, but the whole time I would be thinking, like, this is weird, you know?
You know what I'll say? You know, I think you phrased it really well. It really kind of depends on what the point of the show is. Like, if the point of it is, like, racial experiences, then yes. Like,
I mean, it kind of is,
but I'm saying, like, not
in
this
the museum
show.
itself.
I'm in general,
right?
Like, I'm saying, if you're doing, this is kind of what I tell people at work. Like, if you're doing something that has anything to do with, like, cultural identity and that kind of thing, you have to be very specific and consult very specific people, and really even ask yourself, like, is this something that you should be doing?
That's what I was saying. Maybe if she was a true whatever she wants to call herself, and for lack of a better word, I'm going to say ally. If she was a true ally, maybe she should have passed the keys to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, she just took a huge opportunity from someone. We've already talked about the lack of Black people or people of color in the head of any institution. So here's the opportunity, and she failed to pass it. She was just like, you know what? I'm going to curate this show about hip hop because, like, because you did the research. Like, okay, so what? Does that mean you get to be the one to present it? I would feel bad about it.
And that's where I was kind of like, because I don't know if you guys know Jamila Lemieux on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
She's a black woman. She speaks like about a lot of these things, and she was talking about this case in particular, and she says she knows Timothy Ann, and says that, like, you know, she was the one. She's where I got all of that stuff that I was talking about, like all the good shit about her that I was talking about. She was like, I know, like, personally, she's helped get me in rooms to, like, you know what I mean, to do things. And so I understood that, but I was also like, and she made some excellent points because she did a Twitter tweet thread today, and she said, you know, a lot of people would have benefited from shutting the fuck up. You know, a lot of people should have weighed, you know, when you have a white friend and they're being dragged, you really have to consider why they're being dragged, and you really have to consider, you know, if their career, like you brought that up, John, as well, like, was her career in danger? This is your friend.
No, she's gonna.
Her. Was her career in danger?
She ended up getting the job. Still, she's still going to curate it. She's still going to have her name behind it, and everyone's going to know she did it. So nothing.
So it was like,
yeah.
It was like, you know, was there any real need for you to come out and, like, attack? I mean, like people like Simone. Is it not Simone Sanders? Is that her name?
Bernie,
the bald-headed one that's a commentator.
Not the bald-headed
Simone
one.
Sanders. She's bald. Is she bald? She chose to be bald. I didn't say it negatively. You know, she said things about him, and it's like this guy with this small platform, and you have these people that have, like, again, blue checks, and they have, like, these huge hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers, and they're using their platform to drag another black person for questioning a white person, and it just was like, you really, like, should have thought about that.
Yeah, but
like, really should have thought about what benefit you were bringing to the situation by doing that.
Also, why drag? Like, why just not have the conversation? Exactly. That's what I don't understand. That's my whole point.
They were like, how dare you even say this? Like, how dare you even open your mouth about this?
Like, that's my whole, because this thing is actually, I think this is actually a very, very nuanced conversation.
Yeah.
I think that you guys are right, but I think that there are valid points that are being made on the other, I don't want to say side.
No, I agree.
So
totally.
I think that this is actually something where a conversation kind of needs to happen instead of just saying, like, fuck you, whatever. That's why I don't understand why can't people just talk instead of...
Well, that was the issue, though, was that this guy said this thing, he tweeted this thing, and then, like, everyone jumped on him and was like, how dare you question this? And, like, it was, like, shut down from there. So, like, that was the issue that I felt like a lot of people took up with this, was that why is it that we're not even allowed to question this? Why are we not even allowed to have a conversation about the fact that there's a white woman curating this?
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously, like, I agree with you guys. Like, I think that there's situations where, like, if it can be related to blackness, I guess, well, I don't know. I don't know that it needs a white voice, and I don't know that anything related to blackness necessarily needs a white perspective. Like, we've talked about this before. I don't need art centered around black people and blackness, and hip hop. You cannot, like, it's what's the word? How do you say this word? Inextricably linked to blackness. Hip hop is. You can't. There's no way to, like,
you can't unlink
like,
it,
separate
right.
the two. Like, the whole point of hip hop was that it was born from our oppression, and it was a way of protest. It was a form of protest, and so you just can't take that away from that. And I don't think that it needs a white voice, and I don't think that, for the sake of inclusion, that we constantly need to, like, include people to the extent that we're kicking ourselves out of the room. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of what happened here. Like, and instead, like, people were so, like, quick to be like, oh, we need to just have the best. And what does that mean? What does that look like? Like, we talk about having the best all the time. And you have to ask yourself, like, why is it that the best is a white woman? Why is the white woman the best person to tell this story? Because essentially she's telling a story.
I was just about to say that. Oh, sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't know if this is, like, this is kind of a little off, but I think it's relatable. There's a really popular Thai food place in Chinatown that's, like, getting all these good reviews, and it's supposed to be like, this Thai restaurant is, like, how Thai food should be made, right? But the head chef and the creator of this restaurant is white. And, like, it's getting all these reviews about, like, the best Thai, and, like, this is authentic Thai, and it's like it's because this white guy, his credentials is that he went to Thailand for, like, a few years and, like, learned how to cook Thai food and then brought it here. And it's like, I don't get like why I'm allowing this person to tell me what good Thai food is when he's not even Thai.
Yeah.
When he just like flew there, spent a few years, and came back and said, "This is what Thai food is." And like, there's a million other Thai food places in Los Angeles with actual Thai people cooking and serving. Why is this white man getting all this like praise for presenting us what his version of Thai food is? So it's like, that's how I would feel if I walked in this museum. Like, here's this white lady presenting me on like what her version of hip hop culture is. Like, I'm not black, but I would feel weird if like, you know, just like I'm not Thai. Like, why am I letting this non-Thai person, no matter who they were, like.
So actually, go ahead, Baze.
I was just gonna say, and I like saw like a lot of like art students, and like I saw like a lot of there were a lot of black women like specifically who like study art and were on there, and they were talking about like how they couldn't get their foot in the door when they were going out for jobs like this. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like interesting that like black women are like pushed out, black people in general, but specifically black women are pushed out of these rooms, but in the one room where they should be like at the top, you know what I mean? We're making room for a white woman, and there was the same issue at the Brooklyn Museum where a white woman was curating I think it was African history. It's just like what are y'all doing? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I mean partially what my show's about in a way. I mean,
go off, sis.
Yeah, but part of it is what I was gonna say was that it's a lot of it is the system too. Like, because when things like this happen, it sucks that we get stuck on like the Twitter fighting and the infighting and people attacking each other. Right? When it's really like the system that's set up like that. Like, why is it that a white woman is the only person apparently that has all this access to talk about this shit? Right? Like, why is it that she has, and people don't realize too, a lot of people in the art world, like, are that are able to do this stuff, like have trust funds. Like, a lot of people that are successful in the art world come from wealthy families, right? Because you don't have like those opportunities. So that's why black women aren't being allowed in those spaces a lot of those times, because when you are a person of color, like, you then have to work 8 times as hard, you know, to get to like half the positions. People then doubt your experience on every other type of art, especially if you're dark skinned. Like, imagine being like a dark skinned black woman, like, and let's just say like you love African art, but then you like minored in Asian art and you're talking about that, and like, people don't take you seriously. They act like they don't, like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then, you know, then when something like this comes up, like, you're not even allowed to be there because you don't have the quote credentials of being like a head curator for 15 years at an institution. So that's what the real thing that's shitty is. And like, a lot of these places need to like fix the system, but that's tea for another day.
And she's just gonna like get a bunch of praise for this show that she curated, and all this praise is gonna come from other white men, which is gonna open the door for other opportunities for her, which is like an example of why she should have just passed the keys to someone else. Because
I think we need sorry, go ahead.
No, that's why I'm like, and that's exactly why, I mean, you know, opportunities like this are important to pass along, because someone else could have gotten further advancement in their career if they had this opportunity. But whatever.
Yeah. I just think we need to have like a bunch of people from the art world on the show. Oh, to give us more insight into the
art episode.
Well, then don't have me on it. I'm barely breaking into that shit. I don't.
Oh my god, you're the person.
No, don't do that. I literally have no clout or no anything.
You just had a show,
girl. My first one,
bitch. A well-attended show. As well.
Don't do that, you guys. Don't do that. Thank you. I appreciate it, but don't do that. I appreciate it. Thank you. But I'm no one yet. But I was going to say that there are like resources and podcasts that you can listen to that some of them talk about this stuff. Not all of the episodes, but some of them do. Like, there's one called the Art Conversation Podcast with Michael Shaw, and he has artists of color on frequently. Those have really good episodes. There's something called the Artsy Podcast, which I listen to, which I think their 25th episode is something like how to survive in the art world if you're not a rich kid or something like that. Like, that's a very good episode. I would actually recommend people listen to. And then there's another one called the Art Notes Podcast, and there's an episode that just came up with Lauren Halsey, who was at the Hammer Museum and she did like the shrine that won the 100,000. She has an episode on there where she's talking about that and like Afrofuturism and like all that stuff and what that means like in those spaces and all. She was talking about a lot of her work is about like what happens like if Black people like go to space and start these institutions like in a place where they're not colonized, like on a different planet, and like it's really gorgeous stuff. So there's a lot of things that you can find.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, sis. I was gonna like low key do a low key drag on Hollywood and Mel Gibson because he's trending, and I thought he was dead, but he's not dead. He's co-writing and directing a movie starring what's the nigga that abused Black kids when he was young?
A lot of people?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
Like
there we go. Mark Wahlberg.
Like,
he's doing a movie about Mark Wahlberg?
No, it's not about... It's a Western. It's starring Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg. There we go. Yeah, which is not surprising that he would be working with Mel Gibson. But, you know, whatever.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did Mel Gibson do? I'm not really familiar with him. Do we not like...
Oh, he said niggers. He threatened to have his girlfriend raped by some niggers. Yeah. He threatened to rape her himself. Yeah.
Wait.
You don't remember that?
No, I never... Wait, is Mel Gibson the one in Passion of the Christ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, then, yeah.
It was audio that was released of him, like, talking about, like, Jews, and he's, like, apparently his dad's a Holocaust denier.
I knew the thing about... I knew there was, like, anti-Semitism somewhere in there, but I didn't know about all that. But, like, I wasn't completely sure, like, what...
Oh, yeah.
Like, happened. I knew that people made, like, jokes about Jewish people with him, but I wasn't sure if it was, like, he said something, or if, like, he was the, like, on the receiving end. Okay.
He said a couple things, yeah. But anyway, fuck him, fuck Hollywood for continuously giving these guys second chances, which tells me that like literally everyone who got canceled last year for assaulting people will probably be back at some point. But shout out to The Bachelor Vietnam, because I'm seeing on my Twitter feed that one of the contestants threw her, I mean not threw it, I don't know. But
she gave her rose to another woman.
To another woman, yes.
Did you see the clip, Baze?
Yeah, it's so cute.
It was everything. The cast was shook.
Everybody was shook. Apparently, like, the whole of Vietnam was shook.
I mean, what a way to steal the show. Like, good for you.
I love this.
Yeah.
I hope they, like, get married and, like, I don't know, go on, like, a world tour of just, like,
dang,
awesome.
Like, how iconic. The show is called The Bachelor, and you just went with another bachelorette and made it The Bachelorette and queer.
You know what that is?
Growth. Dismantling the patriarchy.
It's growth. Yes.
She's like...
And subversion.
And the best part is, they're probably please each other way more than that man ever would. And then those men are up there like, oh, like he's literally saying like, oh, you can stay here for a chance with him. And there's like 8 other bitches. Are you kidding me? Like, bitch, please. Like, there's literally cameras, there's hot lights. I'm sweating. I want to be in this dress. My feet hurt. And this bitch talking about she gonna eat my pussy like groceries. I'm going with her.
Well, didn't they do a gay one? Wasn't there a gay?
Yeah, there was.
Finding Prince Charming? Oh, that was just drama.
It was a mess.
I refused to watch it. I was like, I already knew what it was going to be, but
I feel like we talked about some of those things on our podcast.
I'm sure we did. I just don't remember.
He ended up being like stealing from his clients.
Oh, right. He was like a sex worker.
Yeah.
He was like stealing.
I mean, nothing wrong with doing sex work, but
don't steal.
But he was stealing. Yeah, he was stealing their watches and money and like. I think they like made him out to be a interior designer, I guess.
Yeah,
but that wasn't even a real firm. Money.
But like, wasn't there also drama with like one of the people on the cast like coming out and saying that like he treated people like really bad or something like that?
They were fighting with each other. A few of them were racist. Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Well, that's
Lord, that's why the gays can't have nice things.
I mean, no, don't say that. You put a lot of white gays in a room, that happens. You put a lot of people of color in a room, and this podcast happens.
Girl, you really think if you put a bunch of black gays on TV, get some girls from Atlanta, and you don't think it would be mess?
A different kind of mess.
Damn, I was just trying to uplift us, and then Bass had to just turn it.
And there's a way to uplift us without being fake. You don't think that if you put a bunch of gay black men in a house, you don't think there would be mess? Girl, there would be scammers in there. There will be physical fights. Somebody might get cut.
Damn. Oh, sure. Okay. We're all equal.
Stop it.
Yes, we all are trash together.
That's our new tagline.
We're all...
all lives are trash. No.
that's not what
That's not what we said. We said
we're all trash
we're
together.
all trash together. Trash together.
Here at Podcast of Color, we're all trash together. Oh.
Okay. Anyway, so that was a good note, right? Anybody else have any like last minute things to add before we move on?
Support Tinashe on Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh, child, the fact that
Wow.
you actually mentioned
The Aquarius jumped out.
Look,
And I'm the Aquarius.
look, I'm not too proud to beg. I want her to get views, okay? I want them to have good ratings.
Maybe this will jumpstart her career.
What? Fuck
Maybe
you.
she'll like people will be like, "Oh, she could dance." You know what'll happen? I think that Beyonce is gonna see her, and she's gonna be.
Bitch,
dancing
Beyonce knows who
Beyonce on the next
Tinashe
tour.
is.
Does she? No, I'm serious.
I
Have
mean,
you
yeah.
ever seen Beyonce acknowledge her?
Stop, babes. That's not fair. That's not.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm being for real, for real. I like Tinashe. I think she's very beautiful.
But
I think she's talented. I just don't know what's going on with the career. That's all. And I think that's a valid concern. I think that's a concern that many people have.
you know what? I think you need to mind your business. How about that?
Okay. I am. Okay.
How about that?
Well, this isn't minutes of mind your business. This is minutes of color.
So with that,
Yeah, with that.
Anyway,
we'll see.
okay. Let's move on.
okay.
And welcome to the ThiccsCourse. That is correct. I am. Oh God, I don't know where did
Well,
that go?
I think
Correct.
this episode is called the ThiccsCourse.
the ThiccsCourse. Ooh,
Oh, can someone
Come
write
on,
okay,
John.
let me- hold on.
The
Come on,
ThiccsCourse.
Let me write that down. The ThiccsCourse.
Welcome to the ThiccsCourse.
Come on, episode title.
Yes, John. Okay.
We stand.
So welcome to the ThiccsCourse. Today we will be talking. I almost put a th in that. Today we will be talking.
Talking.
We will be talking about many things, but most of all, thickness. So,
What about it?
What about thickness?
thick?
Who
the T
is thick?
Just
Who
for
can
clarification, for our listeners, it's. I think we talked about this in an
But
episode.
it's all the same. THICK,
THICC.
THICC. If you're calling yourself any kind of any one of these words, any version of this spelling, you're gonna get either dragged or you're going to be, or nothing's gonna happen to you. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. Who gets to be called thick, and why, and how do you define thickness? Because, never mind. I'll just let you guys go. Go.
Well, I think we touched on this in one of our episodes because Rakeem was actually in the article, right?
Yes.
Which article?
The Into article about thickness, and that you had like submitted
I
a
was?
photo. Yeah, it was you
Really
and
don't
someone
remember?
else.
She done been in so many
Oh!
articles. She's like,
No,
what?
Oh, that wasn't into. That was for.
Oh, just kidding.
No, sorry. I was like, what are you talking about?
That was
it was a
vegan,
gay.
wasn't it?
No, gay.
No, it was for. No, that was for a lady. No, fuck. Who was that for? No, it was for Loverboy magazine. That's what it was for.
Oh.
And we did it. Yeah,
Oh wait, I thought it was for them.
them posted it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, thank you, them. Thank you, Condé Nast. No, so, sorry, keep going.
No, nothing. I'm just saying this is related to that article because
Yeah,
it was about who is thick and who can say it and who identifies as thick. And
yeah, so we were just talking about like who's thick, who gets to identify as that, and that kind of thing. And I feel like there's this trend right now where like everybody is kind of saying that,
Mhm.
and it kind of pisses me off, to be
Yeah,
honest with
yeah.
you, because I think that word is so. It's used in a way that I feel like it's lying, because I feel like people say, "Oh, I like thick men," but what you actually are saying is, "What I like is guys that have big ass muscular arms, and then
right.
they don't have like a toned 6-pack stomach, but they still don't have a pouch when they sit down." And then you like, so it's like, so to me, it's like you're still, it's not really like what you're thinking, because to me, it's like, if you sit down and like your stomach doesn't like roll over your, like if you look the same when you sit as you stand, like first, that's a privilege. Second of all,
yeah, if you don't have to adjust your pants before you sit
yeah,
down.
like to me, like I'm really tired of that because it's like you actually aren't suffering the same thing. And one thing I've been kind of dealing with too is that, so I always identify as thick because I feel weird saying fat because I don't consider myself fat because I think that there are a lot of people who are bigger than me. So I always say I'm a thicker guy, or like I'm a huskier build, because that's just kind of like how my body is. So like, even when I lose weight, I'm still going to be like a thicker person. And to me, I feel like we almost get caught up in the middle of that sometimes because even from the opposite sides, like in the, like the bear community, right? Like you're too small, like, you know, but
and I was going to say that I think if you called yourself fat, there were people who are larger than you who would say that you can't call yourself fat because you're not actually fat.
That's why I I don't think if you go back to any of my captions or any of my photos or anything, I've never used that word.
Dang, she said do the research.
No, I've been very conscious of it. Like actually there's an Instagram account that's called Artifacts that posts pictures of like queer, you know, like bigger people. And
I think you can say fat.
But this is why they posted this. That's what I'm telling you why I didn't say it, because they posted some work of mine and they DM'd me asking me if they can do it. And I said, well, that's fine, but I also want to let you know that I don't really use that word to identify myself because I feel like there are people that are bigger than me that have that word identifies with them. Yeah. So like,
I think if they saw you, they'd be like, he's not actually fat.
But what they told me was that, you know, if you're still experiencing this thing and people are telling you that in your experience is people calling you fat, you should still be able to claim that. So that's where I'm kind of at right now, where it's like, I say thick because I feel like I don't feel comfortable saying fat because I feel like it doesn't apply to me. But anyway, that's a tangent. The point is, if you're skinny, don't say that shit.
Yeah, and there's a difference between being muscular and being like thick, right? And I think that's what Rakeem was saying. Like, if you have visible abdominal muscles or just muscles, like if you have definition, I don't think that's like the thick that we're thinking of. Like, you can't like post a shirtless photo and like you have obvious definition and then call yourself a thick person. Like, no, you're just the muscular person. And not that there's anything wrong with being a obviously there's nothing wrong because you have the privilege of being a muscular person. That just comes with it. But like, when actual thick people who are thick see that, they're like, well, you know.
Well, it's also you're fucking up the definition of what that means for people too, right? Like if you constantly are bombarded with people telling you that muscular people are thick, you're going to eventually think that muscular people are thick. And then so people that are actually thick and that are actually, you know, that body type that
you're stealing that.
Yeah, but then it's like, and then like those people get called fat on apps and all that stuff too. And again, fat isn't an insult to me.
Fat is not an insult. Let's clarify that.
And I wish people would stop using that as like an insult. It's not like a bad, like when like I hate when people use fat and ugly as like synonyms. Like they're not the same thing. But yeah, for me, it's really annoying when I think you see this a lot on social media when, you know, a lot of it is Instagram and you're scrolling through or Twitter and you see these people and Tumblr too, I guess. Or any visual media, honestly, where you're scrolling through and you see people say that. And the thing I think that sucks is that like those people kind of like know that they're not that too. Yeah. And it's almost kind of like, to me, it's just this like really subtle and sensitive like fuck you that I get from that. Yeah. Because it's literally like saying, I know this word doesn't apply to me, but I'm going to use it anyway because God, I don't want this to sound like it's going to sound, but I think you guys will get what I'm trying to say. It's almost kind of like when you're a heavier person, like because of how society is, people are automatically going to shit on you and not treat you a certain way. And I'm not saying just like muscular people. This is just people across the board. Like even heavier people do this to other heavier people. Like there are people that are fat that won't date other fat people and think it's disgusting. Right?
Well, not about disgusting, but sometimes like, I was actually listening to this on Unbearable's podcast. They call it like the Jenga. The Jenga doesn't fit, right? If it's like...
Oh, no, but I'm saying that there are self-hating people.
Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
What is that?
Like Jenga, sometimes the parts don't fit well.
You don't know what Jenga is?
It sounds like... Is it that game? I never played it.
Wow.
Guys, I feel like we've played Jenga.
Yeah.
Like we've had to. We've played Jenga before because me, you, and John played it at that cafe once with the board games.
Yeah,
and then I remember John left because he had a dick appointment.
I don't remember this.
On the podcast? You know what? I'm not even mad. Anyways.
We literally talked about your dick appointment last week.
So sometimes when people don't fit their body proportions together, it's harder. So yeah, some bigger people don't like other bigger people because like it doesn't.
No, but I'm talking about for self-hate reasons.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. When all this shit is nuanced, everything is nuanced. But yeah, there's a lot of self-hate that's there too. And so when you are constantly like bombarded with that, right? You already feel like, okay, well, people don't want me, and then you see people going off and then doing that, and then you change the definition of the word that you do have to kind of feel good about yourself too. Like I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Like what are we gonna come up? We're gonna come up with something next, and they're gonna steal that shit too. Maybe we should come up with a word that's really dumb so that they'll steal it. Like we're Tetris shaped, and then people can steal that and be like, we're shaped like Tetris blocks, and we can be like, ha ha ha.
Rakim taking it there. I don't think fetch is gonna happen, but
I didn't say fetch.
I know it's.
Oh, I got okay.
But yeah, I just like it's. I do see it on social media a lot, and I actually see it in person or like witness it in person when someone who's like conventionally attractive has a like a 6-8 pack or whatever, and then like I feel fat today, or like I'm such a fatty, and but you know they post a picture and they know they're not a fatty, and then they know they're not thick, but like it seems kind of what's the word? Not gratuitous. Maybe it is gratuitous.
Insensitive.
Yeah, because there's actual folks who are a lot bigger, and so when you're posting that and you know you're not that person, it's very insensitive, and it just makes me think like, if you think you with the 8-pack is fat, what do you think me with like a 36 waist is like? How does that make me feel?
But also, why do you think fat's bad? Like, that's the other thing, right? Because it's not even... Because, I mean, you're also right. Like, when people say that, when guys always go, oh, like, or women too, when people just go, oh, I feel so fat and you're skinny, it's like, okay, so then what do you think of...
Yeah, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, but also, like, it just... I don't know. It also just makes me feel weird because I feel like a lot of the times, too, like, those people put all their sources of, like, value and worth of a person into that. It's kind of why you get people who say things like, oh, well, you know, I want people who take care of their bodies. Right? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like? That's
code for saying no fatties.
Oh, no, I know what that means.
Oh,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's stuff like, it's all this, like, subtle, coded stuff that's, like, full of shit. But, Baze, I'm curious, what do you think? Because you've been quiet, other than Jenga.
I've just been over here minding my business.
That's very respectful of you, Baze.
Okay.
Respecting everybody's.
But what did you say last section? What did you say last section? This isn't minding my business. This is the discourse.
Okay.
The ThiccsCourse.
Sorry.
Oh God.
Wait, Baze, can I say something?
Yeah, I mean.
Yes.
No. I mean, I want to speak on Baze's improvements. Because there's been times, I think we had talked about this, about Baze, like, Baze would say things like, oh, I look fat, or I'm fat, right?
I never said that.
I've
never said that. Never said that I look fat. Never said that.
Me and someone else, I called you on it, and then you stopped. You stopped saying it.
I actually would like to hear dates on this one, because I have I've definitely thought it. I've actively not said it. Because I know that it's not right.
A certain someone, aka your man, backing me up on this.
And I said, I said that I was fat.
You were saying something about you like looking or feeling fat, and we were like, "You're not fat." So maybe we should have this conversation off the podcast. But I remember that person we were feeling at the same moment. We were talking about it. But anyway, the reason why I mentioned...
But the point of it
is that you don't say it. I was just trying to give you some credit.
Oh, Baze.
Baze? Oh no, is she mad? You see that? Yes.
I was like, did we lose her?
I like genuinely. Okay.
Or maybe it wasn't the word for it, but like this is like.
I'm sure I've said I know that I've said things that like
this is too big for me or something like that, or like it's.
So. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Okay, so I definitely like have like a complicated relationship with my body, as most people do, and I don't necessarily always see when I look in the mirror what other people see when they look at me. Mm-hmm. And so I have definitely been guilty of talking about my body in a way that is probably like really triggering for people that are bigger than me. Mm-hmm. I've definitely had to have conversations with Mark where he's just like, yeah, don't say that about yourself because how do you think that makes me feel? Or like,
right. Oh, that's what I was trying to say.
About, like, you know, like the way that I talk about the gym or the way I talk about like how I'm feeling about my body is like, can sometimes be triggering for him. Or like, I've even like been very careful to not say anything around any of you guys about body stuff because I don't know what could be potentially like triggering for you guys. So I if you said that I said that, I will trust that you heard me say this and I said that. And if I did, well, then apparently I did. I'm sorry that I said that. I have definitely called myself fat in my head before. Mm-hmm. But I actively like, for years, like, actively made sure, like, not to say it out loud, but I guess it slipped through. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I've been called thick by other people, and so I definitely thought...
Well, your ass is pretty... I'm kidding.
Well, because of that, I thought, like, oh, okay. Like, I guess when I was, like... Growing up, I always thought of thick as like you're not fat, but you're not like skinny. So somewhere in between that. Mm-hmm. And so I was always like, well, I'm not fat. I'm definitely not skinny. So I'm thick. And it wasn't like a huge like I identified with this word. So like I feel completely fine with like not calling myself that. Like it's not a big deal. But I definitely like I think I did self-identify, especially like the past few years because I've like put on weight and like more muscular than I used to be, but I'm not like super, super toned in the way that I guess I'm comparing myself to other people that are like more toned than I am. So I kind of look at it like that, which in a way is erasing people who are bigger than me, but I'm like looking at it in that regards and I'm like, well, compared to like this person who's like, got super like incredibly defined 8-pack and like super defined titties that like you could bounce a quarter off of and like super defined arms, you know what I mean? Like that compared to that person, I'm thick because I got more weight on me than that. I'm not necessarily like I'm still thin, I'm still muscular, but I'm not on that level. So I guess that was how I was always seeing it. But then I think over the last year I've been seeing the ThiccsCourse and I've been hearing it and reading it, and so like it's definitely like changed. But I think that I think it also just like, I mean, I've talked about this before a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with just the people that you surround yourself with. Like, I think before I was friends with you guys, I would have been before I was friends with you and before I was with Mark, I definitely would have been like, oh girl, I'm so fat. Like, oh my God, why am I so fat? Like, I definitely would have been that person like posting. You probably could find like a Tumblr picture from like 4 years ago or something, 4 or 5 years ago that is me calling myself fat. Like, I could totally believe that because I didn't have friends that were bigger than me. So I didn't know. I had nobody to really tell me that was wrong.
Wow.
And yes, it sucks that somebody would have needed to tell me that was wrong, but yes, somebody would have needed to tell me that because I wouldn't have been aware of it at all. And so, like, I think being friends with you guys and, like, just having a wide array of friends of, like, different sizes.
Did you just call your friends wide? I'm kidding.
Oh my god! but I think
is this payback, bitch?
No, I'm kidding. No, I was gonna say I really am like proud of your awareness, Baze. This is refreshing to hear.
Oh, okay.
Damn, I remember I had a whole ass point before we went off on that, and I completely forgot what it was. But because remember, you interrupted me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then Bass interrupted you. It's like interruption telephone.
Well, that was reparations when I interrupted him.
Oh god. But I think a lot of this too is really important to talk about how, you know, I think a lot of times fat people are dehumanized too, where like like you know, it's like, imagine being talked about like throughout society with being disgusting and being, you know, like not desirable and like all of that shit. So like, it's hard, like hearing all that stuff. So I think that that's why it's important, and it's like important to like have those conversations, and why John did want to bring up about the growth thing. Because it happens, I'm not saying like with you, but it happens like with so many people, so many, you know, so often, and in so many friend groups that I think that people do without even realizing, because fat shaming is so like ingrained in culture here. And it happens on apps all the time too. Like, oh, I can finally talk about the Grindr thing because it's out. So like, you know, that's partially like why Grindr is like a thing, because like these are like conversations that we were having because it happens there so often, you know?
Yeah.
You know, what does that look like? And what does that feel like for the people who are on the receiving end of it when you do say stuff like, oh, like, I'm like a small instead of an extra small now, or like when you,
oh my god,
or you know, stuff like that, or like, oh my, or like I'm good, or even small shit like, oh, I'm gonna like, you know, pig out and like eat all this in and out, and like I'm gonna have like be bloated and look bad and shit like that, and it's like that can make certain people feel bad too. Like you just have to be really careful about that, because
like calling. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna be like, or like calling yourself like a fat ass for like eating a bunch of food.
Well, I think fat people can do that.
No.
But I think that,
I see mostly skinny people like, oh god, look at me being a fat ass.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hate that shit. So, I went to, you know, I've been going to a lot of weddings recently, and so I've been having to do a lot of shopping. And so I want, one store I went to in, I should have expected this from the store in West Hollywood. And so I was trying on stuff, and like, all of their larges wouldn't fit me. So I was like, hey, do you guys have extra large or like double XL? And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't carry those sizes here. And I was like, cool, awesome. And so I walked out, and then there was another like high, or I don't know what to call it, but like there's another chain of clothing that I went to. It's called Topshop. And
you're gonna say high end?
I was gonna say high end, but for some folks, it could be
me. That's why I'm laughing, because it is.
I mean, yeah, Zara and Topshop are definitely high end for me because they're expensive as fuck.
No, I'm laughing because we had this pay less discussion earlier.
And so and then like I walked into that store too, and like I am like officially not walking back in until like, because there's no point, because I realize I don't fit into anything that they have. And even they had like their 36s and their double XL is like still like hugging me in not the most flattering places. And so I was like, damn. And so for me, like when I'm having trouble fitting into clothes that are like mainstream, you know, like this is for, they like, no, push out, this is for everybody. But then it's really not, because I'm walking in there, I can't fit into the biggest size you have, and then like someone smaller than me is going to call themselves fat. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I don't appreciate. Like, your experience is not walking to somewhere and like finding the right size for you. So you're not fat. You're just, I don't know what the word is, but it's not fat and it's not thick. And when you say that in front of me, who is like, can barely fit into some pants.
Right.
Maybe think twice about saying what you're saying about yourself in front of someone who's bigger than you. That's all.
And also, too, I feel like there's going to be a subsection of people, well, maybe not people who listen to this show, but have said, well, just lose weight. And, like, First of all, losing weight does not always mean that someone's healthy. Being skinny does not always mean someone's healthy. Some people don't want to lose weight. Some people like being thicker, and you shouldn't have. And also, that's a lifestyle change too. Like people don't. Okay, sorry. People don't get that. Like when you are when you are trying to lose weight, like you have to change your change your lifestyle around that shit. You don't
Do you guys watch It's Always Sunny?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, well,
you're talking about that one guy who
moments, so like it's probably like fine that you don't watch it anymore. But I used to love that show; it was really funny. I don't know, is it still on? Like, do they still have new episodes?
I think so.
Does this relate to?
I think I know where basically.
Oh yes, it's heavily, it's very much related to what I was saying. Sorry. So anyway, there's this guy. I don't know his real name, but there's an actor. His name on the show. He's Mac.
Yeah, the white guy who gets,
and he's he gained like a lot of weight, and he like lost a lot of weight, and he's like, they always show up at WeHo, and like he's like,
now he's like shredded,
got, like, really fawned over this year at WeHo because he got like super like toned, like cut, like really cut, and he was like shirtless, and you know the gays will do anything with an ab. And
a single ab.
So if you got an ab, abs are currency.
Oh my god! I mean, in some spaces it is.
So he like, you know, he's like, I keep getting asked like, what did I do? Because he had gotten pretty big.
Yes.
And so he like just dropped a shit ton of weight, and he was like, oh, all you have to do is get a nutritionist, also hire a personal trainer. Or have your job hire a personal trainer for you. Stop eating after 7. Stop eating salt, sugars, carbs, anything that you actually enjoy. You have to have things specially prepared for you. You have to spend about 6 or 7 hours in the gym every day. He just like listed it off, and then at the end he was like, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, I saw that post.
I appreciated that he was just kind of like, this is like what you really have to do if you want to go from this to this, as opposed to like, all you have to do is just go and work hard.
That's why most of these people are trainers, because it's because you have to live that shit. Like, you don't just casually change your life like that, and a lot of people don't have that. Imagine someone who's working like 2 to 3 jobs to like put themselves through school, or someone who's in school full time, or someone who's in whatever and like doesn't have the money to do that, or doesn't. Yes. So it's like when you guys are saying, not you guys, sorry, but when people say stuff like that, you don't realize like how like the layers that go into that. So not everyone has the same amount of money you have, the same amount of access that you have. Yeah. Or like sometimes like your apartment complex may have a gym. Like some people don't have that. Like, so it's stuff like that, you know, that people have to really kind of, and also some people just don't want to, and that should be fine too.
I have a question for you.
For me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Beyonce thick?
It depends. Beyonce, it depends. I feel like thick for women is different than thick for men, honestly.
You know, that's true.
Like, I feel like it's completely different. I feel like what's considered thick for women is completely different than what's considered thick for, like, gay men.
But that's a whole nother, yeah.
So I don't even know if that's, like...
gay men... a lot of gay men have body dysmorphia, so a version of thick is like subjective, right?
I think Beyonce is considered thick for like by what society standards is like what women are. Yeah. I think Beyonce currently is thick, but there have been times when she has not been. Like I think Rihanna's thick right now too, or has been recently. But then there's
I'm like doing the math in my head.
Rihanna has been thick lately, but there are levels to it. You know what I mean?
But do you think girls that are bigger than Rihanna would look at her and be like, she's not thick?
But that's why I'm saying it's different. I think that Rihanna is considered typically. I think what Rihanna looks like when she has weight on her is what people consider people consider for women to be thick, or people think of like those Instagram models that have like those. You know, right. I think that's when people say thick for girls, that's what they think. Or like the girl from Orange is the New Black, the one that plays Daya. I can't think of her name.
Oh, yeah.
I think people think of like, Dasha. I think people think of like her for someone who's like thick for women. Mm-hmm. So
I think that would be I think when women are considered thick is when they're like have a small waist but are like
that's what I'm
in
saying
terms of breasts and like hips and stuff. But like if their waist is big too, then they're just called fat.
Yeah, I think that I think thick gay men are allowed to have pouches under the definition of what it currently is, and women aren't. I think if a woman has a pouch, like, people will call them fat. And I think that if gay men have pouches, you can be thick.
A bear.
Well, I don't know. I have a pouch, but I don't think I'm thick. I mean, I don't think I'm a bear.
You're like a cub.
I don't know if I'm a cub either.
Oh.
Am I? You could say yes.
I would think that you're a cub, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been called that, but you're the first person to tell me that, so I don't know.
Oh.
I would consider you thick.
But I'm not a cub.
But you're not a cub. I would consider you thick.
Well, the guy we were just talking about in the break, he said that he has a 38-inch waist.
But that's because your ass has, like, shit in it. Like, K. Michelle's ass is probably 30.
Okay, I changed my opinion on that photo, on that person base, because I think the initial photo that I saw, this guy had, like, visible abdominal. He had, like, a V, like a mild V going on.
Mm-hmm. Do
you know what I mean? And I think someone, like, and if you're, like, belly isn't going over your waist, like your underwear or belt or pants or whatever.
But he doesn't have a belly.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. In that photo, the one that we saw, I was like, well, that's not really thick. Your stomach is really flat. Like, but I think the number doesn't, like, I think it's a proportional thing. You know, if you can still have a big waist and a flat stomach. Like, he's probably a 38 for sure, but his, like, when he stands up, it's fine, you know?
I think that what I'm kind of getting from a lot of this is it's really easy to, it's difficult to determine, like, when someone is thick, but it isn't really hard to determine when someone's not. And so, like, I think that there's varying levels of, like, what thick means. So I think both of us fall under what that means, but we have different body types.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think that, for example, the person that we looked at isn't, right? Like, Baze, I think, would be considered muscular, right?
Yeah.
So I think that there's ways that we could be, you know, there's like, it's a spectrum. Thickness is a spectrum. It's a thicktrum.
Let's bring this back around. Why is this important?
Yeah, that's all. I think that there's varying levels of what that can be, but I think that the whole point of this, at least for me, was to talk about people who, like, definitely aren't on that spectrum. Because I'm not really interested in, like, figuring, like, I don't need to, like, justify whether or not I'm thick, you know what I mean? Because, like, I kind of experience, I experience that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting told that I'm too fat by people and, like, all the oppression of, like, what the...
By department stores.
And by department stores, by everybody, not just men. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, except straight people, though. That's a whole other thing.
Well...
In person.
The standards are different in the heterosexual world.
But what's crazy is all the straight people ads tell me that I'm fat, but in person, straight people don't.
Because straight people don't have, I guess, as much of a complex in trying to achieve a body like
I don't know.
We are.
I feel like straight men. I mean, I definitely feel like when I like. It's also interesting how like that like changes where you are, but I feel like whenever I see like a straight guy, whenever I see a guy and he has like he's muscular and he's well dressed, I'm like he's gay. And it's like hard. It's hard to like be like, oh well, there's straight guys that do that because most straight guys don't put that much effort into. Not to say that, like, I'm wrong. There are a lot of straight guys that do that. But I just mean that, like, it's just less common. And especially depends on where you are. Like, for example, like, if you're, like, in Inglewood or whatever, if a guy has worked out and dressed well, he probably is gay. But if you go to, like, Beverly Hills or, like, Santa Monica, then the chances that it could be either one.
It's also interesting to me because it's like... Oh, fuck. I just lost my point. Damn, never mind. Go, John.
Well, while you figure that out, I was going to say, sometimes I feel like I agree with you, Baze, when that, like, sometimes when you see a guy who's, like, well-dressed and fit or whatever, we lean towards, like, he's probably gay. I just feel bad for, like, the gays who aren't like that, who feel pressured to be fit and well-dressed, you know, like...
Yeah.
You know, we just, like, for example, like a bear or, like, or whatever, just, like, or if they don't feel... Like, if they're not well dressed, and I don't want to eliminate their gayness because of that, you know?
Oh,
like
no, definitely. I get, yeah.
Like you're,
yeah,
like you're still gay. Like you don't have to be fit and like dress well to be gay. Like I'm just saying it's.
I guess what I mean is like there's like signs that you like pick up on. Like for example, like if a guy is wearing shorts that are like above his knee, if he's wearing them below his knee, he's probably not gay. Though there are gays that wear their shorts below their knees.
True. Yeah.
It just means that if they are above his knees, the chances are higher that he is in fact homosexual.
The reason he's saying that is because there's a higher chance that he's probably gay because society says that straight men shouldn't do that, and most straight men believe that. So you're either gay or you're a straight man that doesn't give a fuck.
Yes.
And most of the time, those two cross over a lot.
Yeah.
I always liked, well, not always like to tell people, but in college when I first came out, and I used to have like my straight guy thing, and I long since got over that. And when people would be like, I'm comfortable with my sexuality, so I'm like, okay, so why is it a problem? And I'm like, yikes, that's really like guilt trippy, and like stop that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say I think we're running long.
Okay, so do we have any final?
I think I don't really need to. I mean, I guess what I'll just say is just to be a little bit more empathetic. Like I know it's tough. Like it is like when you like don't know any of this stuff. And you're coming from like a perspective of not being a bigger person, like the smallest things you got to be aware of, because like something as simple as like going shopping can be triggering for your friends. Something like as simple as like talking about going to the gym and the way that you talk about your body. It may not even necessarily be like, oh, I'm fat. But like I remember I remember I was with John and we were with one of his friends, and we were at John's house and we were one of his friends, and one of his friends was going through John's closet. I was like, this would be extra large on me.
No, they said it was oversized. It's an oversized look.
Yeah,
and on me,
the oversized look.
Yeah, they wanted the oversized look, but on me, it's like fitted. It's tight. Right. But on them, it's oversized, and it just made me feel a kind of way, like
yeah.
And I remember me and John kind of just like looking at each other because I, at that point, was knowledgeable enough to pick up on those things, but clearly that person was not.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's what.
No, I was gonna say, but we told them in that moment, and like you learn to not do that, and that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just try to be. I guess just if you're not someone who's thicker or bigger, like just try to be empathetic, because I know like it's initially can be like, oh my god, like that's so much stuff that you have to think about, but like in the grand scheme of things, like you're like saving people's feelings, so it works out.
And maybe it's just a language thing, a change of vocabulary. Like, I get like when someone like stuffs their face and they eat a lot, they're like, oh my god, I feel so fat. Well, like, I know what you're feeling, and it's not fat. What you're feeling is like
bloated,
sluggishness. Yeah, and like there's like fat people have lots of energy, and so when you're eating a lot and you feel sluggish, that's what it is. It's not you feeling fat, because you're not fat.
Also, my last comment is just to allow fat people to be like humans, like, and you know what I mean. Like, even if you do, like, I don't know, it's just that I just think that the whole culture around the word fat needs to be changed, and I realize that that's going to be a very long process. But I think that we can start by just checking in with ourselves and like checking, or calling in people. Ooh, excuse me.
Calling a spade a spade.
Excuse me. Well, also calling people in when that stuff kind of happens, and just be like, hey, like this may not, be the best way to go about it. And that's really the best thing you can do, is just by the people around you.
Yeah.
So, yay for love and positivity and
body positivity.
In the name of moonlight and justice and thickness. I am Sailor Thickums.
Oh my god, the best sailor.
And this was the discourse.
The ThiccsCourse.
The ThiccsCourse. God damn it.
All right. So we'll see you all in the mail of color.
All right. Brum, 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 brum.
All right. We back. It's Mail of Color. I'm just going to read one today, because you bitches need to start writing into us a little bit more than you
Don't yell at our listeners.
Huh?
I mean, yes, please write us some more letters.
Please. Do I have to beg again? Jesus.
And then ask us for advice that we're not qualified to give. But yeah, it's fun,
Well, John is qualified to give some advice.
Some advice.
John is a nurse, a registered nurse.
The rest of us are qualified trash. So
You could give art advice.
to a degree. But okay, I will say this as a blanket statement: don't DM me, and don't tag me in your pictures if I didn't take it. Like that's really tacky. Don't do that. So, that's don't do that to people. Don't.
What if they just want you to see it?
That's fine, but send an email. That's what it's there for. Don't send me 20 pictures and then ask for a portfolio review. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna block you. I'm sorry.
Dang. Oof.
Okay.
So what do we have in our mailbag today, babe?
So we have an interviewer.
Oh, okay.
Jean L. I don't know if I pronounce. I mean, it's John and then E-L-E. I don't know. If it's Il. They had a couple questions for us.
Is this a rapid fire situation? Because I'm ready. We're ready.
Okay.
I'm stretching.
If you could be a crayon or a marker, what color would you be, and what would you be called?
Jet black back panther.
Cerulean blue.
Come
on, man. Days.
Bad bitch pastel.
You were supposed to say bad bitch blue. You have to keep it 3 B's.
I don't know.
Wait, what is a bad bitch pastel?
I don't know, girl. It's minimalism, bitch. Okay. The Crazy Rich Asians conversation that happened can be a rapid fire. The Crazy Rich Asians conversation that happened either last week or a different episode, I can't remember, made me think about representation a little bit more. Would you say that it would be false representation if you casted an actor of a certain Asian ethnicity to play a different one, like a Filipino actor portraying an Indonesian one?
Yes.
Rapid fire. Yes, it happened in Memoirs of a Gay Shit. It wasn't good. There was a lot of controversy. It didn't happen.
Blue.
I mean, yes, and it also happened in Crazy Rich Asians because Nico Santos is Filipino playing
who?
The gay cousin or whatever, the one wearing
he's
glasses.
Filipino?
He's Filipino. He's actually not
Chinese.
Singaporean.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's why I was like, why is he, as much as I want to see
Yikes.
Filipino actors in movies, I was like, why is he playing that when they can hire like an actual person who's Singaporean? But whatever.
In Love, Simon, and To All the Boys I've Ever Loved Before, we got some QPOC representation. How do you think they did? I kind of feel like that was on the verge of being a token gay thing, especially in TATBILB. But I want to hear your thoughts. I don't know what that is. Anyway, how did you guys think that they did in Love, Simon?
Oh, I feel like you guys already talked about this one.
We did, but it's rapid fire, so you guys have to talk really fast.
Okay, go.
Oh yeah, let's talk really fast.
Go, you have to talk really fast.
All the black people were light skinned and mixed, and I didn't like that. But otherwise, I really liked it, and I cried a little bit, and it was really good.
I thought it was really good too, but I was really disappointed that the black guy in the end has a white boyfriend in real life because he's really fine, and I really want to go out with him, but it's fine. Anyway, I thought
he has a white boyfriend in real life. Is there any famous black guy that has any non-white boyfriend?
Wait, no, but that's not the point of the show. What I'm saying is that I actually wish that he didn't have one in real life so you could break the cycle representation, but he's not going to do that because he does have a white boyfriend. Oh my god. But anyway, I did like the movie. I thought it was really great. I thought that the one black character that they did have was really sickening, but she was kind of like a caricature of what I think a lot of black gay people were, but otherwise I thought it was a really good movie. John, what did you think? Go!
I also thought it was a missed opportunity to have a black trans character, but they just went with it and I didn't like it.
I'm not going to do this, but I've seen To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and it's finally refreshing to see the main character as an Asian girl as the love interest because we never see an Asian girl as the main.
Oh, is that actually a movie? Is that
yes?
Where
it's on Netflix. To All the Boys I Loved.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that because people have just been like, to all the bottoms I've painted before, or to all the tops I've painted before.
Bitch, why are you so good at this talking fast thing? I can't think fast enough to keep up with my.
Because right now I'm high on weed and haven't slept in like 4 days, and I've been at the Beyonce concert for like 2 days, and I didn't really go because I was like so tired, and oh my god, all my brains going like, and there's just like all this stuff going on, and I'm like doing interviews, and I'm like editing pictures at the same time, and there's a lot of things going on. I'm really tired, and like I need to eat, and I want to meet.
So this is how fast your mind is actually going, then. Yeah,
that is how my mind is normally.
Oh yeah, I love
my mind
too.
Your mind.
I liked To All the Boys I Loved Before as well. I'm just. Why did all of her love interests white? Like, I'm so tired
That's
of this.
what. Well, no, one of them was a black guy.
What?
One of them was a black guy,
and he was like gay, and he wasn't a real serious contender.
Yeah, but I mean, she did have a crush on a black guy who turned out to be gay. So I mean,
thank you, John.
So did my first girlfriend. And what's your point?
I'm just saying it could have been a love interest if he wasn't gay. And
yeah, it just so happens that the black one was gay. That's all. Just so happens.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Point.
Okay, is there any other one?
If y'all haven't watched either movie, then we.
But let's be real. To All the Boys I Loved Before took place in Portland.
Oh, did it? Is that where that?
Yeah.
Was?
All the cities.
There's no black people in Portland.
Yeah. And if they're there, they're probably gay. I'm kidding.
Wow, problematic.
Is that John projecting?
Oh my god, never mind.
For BBC.
Oh, you just want that BBC inside of you. That's why
the armor Rizzo jumped out.
Okay.
Or rather, jumped in. Someone said that someone actually left us a comment on Twitter, and they said that we shouldn't be allowed to do episodes with just the three of us because we bully you. No. So. Someone said, "Don't ever let Raheem, John, and Bates be on an episode again."
Thank you for all my friends out there looking out for me.
Well, that's because they love to criminalize and demonize black people.
It's more like they hate us more than they love you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
It's more like if I have to go with another PLC to bring down these niggas. I like how y'all are
speaking for listeners when.
Oh.
So, if you want to listen to Podcast of Color, thank you so much. You can find us on Twitter at Trash of Color. You can find us everywhere else at Podcast of Color. Do you guys have any thank yous this week?
I actually did one. They asked me about blockers.
What?
I don't really know. Sorry, this person actually asked me about blockers, and I really don't remember a lot about it.
I guess hormones.
I guess you could start there just to see like what you're comfortable with, and just kind of stop everything where it's at right now in terms of like testosterone and stuff. But I really wasn't on it for like super long. I was on it for like a month or maybe 2. So sorry. Yeah. Yes. Do I have any thanks? I would just like to again thank Jesus for waking me up this morning. I would
praise him.
Huh?
I said praise him.
Yeah. I just like to thank my boss for keeping me employed. My man for keeping me in a relationship. My grocer for keeping me fed. Just all the usual things, the normal things.
I'd like to shout out one of our listeners who was trying to get me to see Beyonce this weekend, and Scout helped me find tickets, but they were sold out. But good looking out. I really appreciate it, and I'll try to catch it the next time.
I want to say first thank you to Beyonce and Jay-Z. Thank you for eviscerating my scalp. It was truly needed.
Who needs plastic surgery when you can just go see Beyonce live?
Honestly, like it was like a tapeworm in 2 hours. Just like I can't say I'm thick anymore. Snatched. Because I'm what? Snatched.
That's the new wig. Snatched.
I also want to say first, thank you to everyone that came out to the reception this past week. Ramona and I are so grateful, and we're like so overwhelmed at the response, and like there's been so many good things happening, and like so many things that haven't happened yet, like that are in the works, and
remind them the show is still up.
Oh yes, also, and the show is still up, so it's up until this Saturday. I'm actually going to be there Sunday too. So the normal business hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. through 5 p.m. And it's in the loft space at the Tag Gallery, so you can go see it there.
And I feel like the people should know, with your pieces, with the cloths, you can pull them away.
Oh,
but with Ramon's, you're not supposed to touch.
Oh, I didn't want to tell people that.
Oh,
but it's okay. But now that John said it, you can move the cloths with mine.
But because people were like, I don't think they were appreciating the pieces.
Well, that's part of it, to see if people were going to do it.
Oh shit, my bad. Spoiler alert.
No, it's fine. I wanted to see if people would actually move the cloths in front of the photographs. But that's still going on. And I want to say thank you to a few people. First, thank you to Out Magazine for doing the feature on it. That was like incredible and amazing, and like so many good things have been coming from that, and I'm like overwhelmed and really grateful. I want to say thank you to Curate LA for for sending out the show on your newsletter and getting us like a ton of people to come. Like we were like, oh, we'll have 6 bottles of wine and like it'll be fine.
Ugh,
and there was like 400 to 500 people that showed up.
There was
like,
no wine left at all.
There was no wine left. We had to actually use
no more wine left to drink. Would you say?
Yes, actually, that's exactly right. Yes.
Aaliyah.
Was that
oh my god, you guys didn't get the
no
Ariana?
Oh, I get it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It was like we were like, that's what we said. Okay. Okay. And also thank you to Grindr for including me in the Kinder campaign.
Thank you to Grindr.
I guess advertisements too and campaign. No, I'm like very, very grateful to be in that, and I'm really happy that they're actually doing this because I think it's something that Grindr should have been doing a really long time ago. Also, I just want to say to people like it's a campaign, so like it's happening in steps, and like things are. I can't say much, but things are coming out, and a lot of things that are being talked about have already been talked about in meetings with people. And those things a lot of the things that are being said have already been addressed, just not released. So I would just have people be patient with it because it is like an ongoing thing. And, I don't normally do this, but I do really want to say that they are really taking the steps to do it right. Yeah. And I really do mean that. Like, they've been really kind of, like, up in their game with who they hire.
Probably one of the first apps to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, my contact is a trans man. And, like, I'm working with a lot of people of color, too. Like, there are really great conversations that are, like, happening, like,
good
behind the scenes here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And...
Oh, and on topic, aren't you also in Big Dipper's music video?
Yes, yeah. So I also wanted to say...
this episode called the ThiccsCourse, and you're in a video called The Thickness.
Yes, I was in... I made a little cameo in Dipper's ThiccsCourse video, so thank you for putting me in that.
Who is also on Reverie podcast, and has their own podcast called Unbearable.
Which I was actually on their first season. I think it was like episode 5 or
something
4,
like that.
4 or 5.
Yeah, I remember.
It was 3 or 4 or 5. And I think, is there anything else that I'm missing? I feel like I missed someone.
Baze, Rakeem has to go through his phone to look at the list of people yesterday.
Exactly,
Stop.
girl. Hey, Oscar. It's just gonna be ridiculous.
No, I mean, if I know there's people that I need. Oh, I know there were people I needed to say thank you to that I forgot. But thank you so much to everyone anyway. And yeah, I'm just really overwhelmed with like at the response for the show, and there's just been a lot of like really positive feedback that we've been getting, and like we've been having really engaging conversations, and like I've been putting like I've been putting like my like for the last like 2 months I've like been sleeping at my job and like not texting back in our group chat and like having to mute the group chat sometimes and like I realize I missed like some really important things that happened and like and like I've been like can I help you? Okay. So all I'm saying is that this show has been taking a lot out of me, and there has been a lot that I have sacrificed for it. So I'm very grateful for everyone that has showed up. And even if I did not get to say hi to you at the reception, you can come and see the show. If you want to see it outside of business hours, send me a DM on Instagram to my personal one, and I can arrange something for you if it's like doable. So yeah. And
wow,
everything else I'll talk about later.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Where can they find us? Oh, wait, did you already do the outro?
I did do all that.
Okay, so well, thank you for listening.
All right. Baze, what is the new bumper bum thing? What is it now? Didn't it? Oh, okay, never mind. I don't like that. Bye.
This podcast is executively produced by Aaliyah J. Daniels, LaShawn McGee, Damian Pelliccioni, Christopher Rodriguez, John Kagandahan, Hakeem Cunningham, Baze White, and Renee Hernandez.